Perfect. So this is the Rainbow Warrior activation, and I'm super excited to see some really familiar names where I've seen you guys on YouTube making so many comments. Oh my goodness. And I've never seen your beautiful faces before. So seeing Mateo, seeing Deirdre, hello, you guys. So happy to see you here. I recognize your names from all those beautiful comments, and Patricia, seeing lots of my beautiful members here. So thank you guys all so much for joining. Okay. So I wonder if I can just have people like allowing them to join themselves without me having to add everyone. I don't know. But anyway, I'll just keep my eye on it. It seems like I have to keep admitting everyone. If anyone knows how to do that, put that in the chat for me, because I don't normally have people joining halfway through. Okay. And I love all the hellos in the chat. All right. So let's get started. So this is the Rainbow Warrior activation. So I want to talk a little bit about it before we get started, and then give you an idea of what we are going to be doing today. And if you have any questions, I'll give you an opportunity before we get started. Hi, everyone in the chats. Okay, so the Rainbow Warrior, the rainbow part of it, let's talk about that first, okay? Like, what makes a Rainbow Warrior? What's the rainbow part? The rainbow part is all of the multidimensional aspects of yourself, because you are still everyone that you have ever been, okay? And if you've been doing any like studies about quantum physics at all, you'll see that they've scientifically proven that time is not real. It's actually man-made, like a human concept, which is really, really hard for us to wrap our minds around, because we grew up under the programming of this 3D matrix where time is everything. Everything is about what time is it at. Okay, so if you can, just try to zoom out and let time go for a second and realize that you are existing at the same time. So your lifetimes go across horizontally. They are parallel lifetimes. They're not behind you in the past, and they're not ahead of you in the future. Timelines are horizontal. They are this parallel experience. If anyone has seen the movie, and I totally recommend this movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, it's a really cool experience of multidimensionality and how it works, and literally what is like our potential is. It's so true. And I literally love that movie so much. It's very much around what we're going to be doing today, where you're going to be accessing parallel lifetimes of yourself so that you can communicate with them, have these channels open. They have wisdom, they have intuition, they have energy, power, they have soul gifts. Soul gifts are these very unique, one-of-a-kind gifts that you carry in your soul that nobody else can offer here on earth but you. So it's really important for you to bring them through, especially now when we are at, like, I would call it like the end times on earth, because we are watching the system crumble. From 2020 to 2024 is the crumbling of the old system. And then we're going to start to rebuild with the new earth. And that is what we need the Rainbow Warriors for. We need them to support the new waves of awakening that are happening. People wake up in waves. Okay. If people that you love, you would still consider, like, you know, not awakened or asleep or whatever word you want to use, that doesn't mean they're not going to. It's scheduled in waves. Okay. So that we're not all waking up at once. There'd be no support. So some of us like chose to go first. We kind of like are these pioneer spirits, which all of you would be. And we set the energetic foundations, and many of us actually step into support roles in our careers. Okay, so to support these spiritually awakened people. So a Rainbow Warrior, the rainbow part of that is all of the colors of yourself. Say you've already uncovered some past lives and you've seen yourself as a Lyran being, like a lion, a Pleiadian, maybe. Maybe you've seen yourself as Andromedan, an elemental being like a dragon, a unicorn, a fairy. I mean, there's just so many non-physical beings like blue rays, angels, archangels. The dimensions, they're probably unlimited, but the ones that we've uncovered, there are so many beings within each one, within each frequency. And you, this really old soul here on earth with this earth mission, I guarantee that you've had hundreds, if not thousands of lifetimes. And if none of them are in the past, what does that mean? That means if you're going to open up to those lifetimes, you want to make sure that you're sending healing energy through. You don't want all of this like backlash of trauma coming through. So we'll definitely be very careful when we do this. We want what's for our highest good. But that just means that you are this focal point of consciousness right now in the human that you are, but you have other focal points of consciousness that all come down from your oversoul. The oversoul, the higher self that you are, has all of these focal points, and they stretch out horizontally as these parallel lifetimes. Okay. So, okay, what else did I want to say about that? So that's the rainbow multidimensional part. Really important to like access our soul gifts and our wisdom at this time. And then the warrior part, well, I mean, I don't really need to probably explain that too much, but light warriors, light workers, star seeds, what are we warriors of? We are warriors that use things like light weapons and teaching and energy healing and awakening and empowering humanity. Really, if we can empower humanity to the truth that they are creators, all of these dark forces that are trying to control them would have absolutely no sway. Because once you become your own creator and you know that, like you know that for certain, and you see the proof of that when you're watching your thoughts and the words that you're speaking and the emotions that you're feeling, and you are seeing those things create your reality, because they do, right? It's beliefs is the bottom layer of your creator spirit. We create with our hearts, we project outwards. The first filter that your creation goes through is your belief structures. Then it goes through your emotions. Then it goes through your thoughts. It goes through 3 layers. So if at any point within those layers, something isn't aligned, you're not creating in the way that you want to. So we need to teach people these things, teach ourselves first, we rise first, we fill our own cups first, and then we are able to help others. So empowering others to know that they are creators, how to create will set them free. So really, it doesn't need to be some giant like earth war. It just needs to be a rising up of the people of empowerment. And we've been shown time and time again in Lyra, in Orion, in the draconian systems, that galactic wars get us nowhere. They get us with, honestly, planets that get demolished, destroyed, civilizations that go under, people that, so much death and loss and trauma to then try to heal from. It sets us backwards. So now we come in as light warriors, but the word warrior means it's like a warrior of the light. It's not a violent thing. So if you are like an empath or a super sensitive soul, don't let that word throw you. We are warriors, just like the Lyran beings that and all of the different feline beings that roar. They use their voices, they use their knowledge, they awaken people. We're like those kinds of warriors. Okay, we're here to roar our message, we're here to empower, we're here to awaken, we're here to set humanity free. Okay, so a huge part of that is this Rainbow Warrior activation. I want to get everybody set up to step into this role. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how this experience is going to go for you, and we'll see if anybody has any questions before we go on. All right, so the first thing that I always do when I have one of these experiences is I set up a sacred space. So I'm going to ask you to get into receiving mode so that you can receive everything that I'm going to be sending to you. And it's not just me, I'm going to be working with the parallel versions of yourself. Okay, so what is a receiving mode? I know if you're a member, you probably know, you can pop it in the comments. A receiving mode means that you can either lie down or sit, but your spine should be supported. Okay, so have something behind you. So shift around now to get really comfortable. Have something like I have the back of my chair. It's going to support me. That means I can lean back. Why do I need to lean back? Because I need to let go to truly receive. You can't have any tension in your body when you're trying to receive. Okay, so receiving mode is leaning back. No tension in the shoulders. Let the shoulders drop. Let your arms feel heavy by your sides. Just feel your human body getting heavy. And I'll walk you through this, don't worry. And then even like, I like to just tilt my head back a little bit. That's really a receiving posture to take. So I want you to have your eyes closed. I want you to be listening. I want you to listen with more than your ears. Listen with your whole body, because you all have psychic gifts. Okay, so as I'm describing some very visual things that are about to happen, notice in your third eye or in your mind, little flashes that happen, maybe just colors, maybe a face, maybe eyes. You're going to be seeing the parallel versions of you. So any little detail is precious. Don't dismiss it. Pay attention, because psychic gifts are fast. If it's clairaudience, like I'm very clairaudient, it's a word, it comes into the mind and then it's gone in a flash. Or if it's clairvoyance, where you're seeing, again, these visions, they're very, very quick. They're in, they're gone. So you just have to pay attention. The more focus you put on them, the longer they last. And then you learn to kind of hold them in place. But so basically just listen with more than your ears, listen with your whole body. What do you feel? What do you sense? What do you see, hear, know? What do you know? Clear cognizance comes down through the crown chakra. Those are the downloads which you will be receiving during this event. These downloads of information are truths. Okay, suddenly they just arrive in your mind and in your heart, and you know. You might just, as I'm speaking, you might just say, oh my God, I have a life as a Pleiadian right now. Like, I just know. You have to trust that. Clear cognizance is a tricky one, and it's hard to trust because there's no proof. You can't see it, you can't hear it, you just know. Where did that come from? Trust me, once I set up this space, your ego will step aside and you will be able to trust everything that you receive. That's why we set up the sacred space with intention, so that you can trust everything that comes through. Everything you see, hear, feel, and know. Okay, so setting up the sacred space. Does anybody have any questions about that? It's basically just getting into a really relaxed posture, eyes closed, and breathing. Don't forget to breathe throughout. It's really important to keep breathing. Okay, so I'm just watching the comments here to see if anyone has any questions before we get started, and then we're going to jump right into this. Looks like everyone is good. I'll give you one more minute just to make sure. And a smile. That was my sign to go. Thank you. Okay, cool. So we're going to get started. If you're more comfortable, like I do this so much that I don't care anymore, but if you're more comfortable, like when you're meditating, to turn off your video, please, you can, like, please feel free to just make yourself comfortable so you can truly receive. Okay. But the rest of you, if you want to stay on camera with me, I welcome that as well. It's totally up to you. No right or wrong. All right. So everybody get comfortable, get situated, get in your seated spot or lie down, get comfy, let the body feel heavy. We're going to get started now. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I want everybody to just place both of your hands over your heart right now. Your heart chakra is at the center of your chest. Both hands over the heart, eyes closed. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths that I'm going to count you through. Okay. So we're going to go inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Nice deep inhale in, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last deep breath in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now, keeping your eyes closed, you can now place your hands where you feel comfortable, in your lap or beside you, but I want you to do palms up to receive. And now you're going to start listening and experiencing with your entire body. I call on Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, please join everyone here watching live or in the replay. And Archangel Michael joins everyone on your left-hand side, coming in with his blue and silver light. This is an archangel of protection. He is here to protect you today. He surrounds you with this blue-silver energy, surrounds your whole aura, so that only what is for your highest good may enter in. Thank you, Michael. I now call in Archangel Raphael, and he comes in on your right-hand side, placing a hand on your shoulder. This very sweet, gentle, chatty angel is a really amazing healer. He's the archangel of healing. That means emotional, physical, every layer. And he works with green sparkling light. And I see him now sending in this green sparkling light, starting at the top of your head and allowing it to flow down over your body. This green light is cool, like minty, refreshing. That's the vibe that it has. So you might feel a coolness or a tingling as it washes over your body. Okay, and lastly, we're going to call in Archangel Haniel. This beautiful divine feminine angel comes in front of you. She kneels down, placing her head in your lap. She's so sweet, so cuddly, so loving and supportive. And as she lifts her head and looks up at you, she places a hand over your heart. She closes her eyes and she begins to send in pink light, the pink light of love, self-love, self-compassion, unconditional. And she's really working right now to open up your heart to receive this experience, because with an open heart, you will receive so much more. Beautiful. So now that we have the angels of protection, healing, and love, each one of them surrounding you with blue light, green light, pink light. You are in this cocoon now of energy. It surrounds your aura like an egg shape, and it immediately starts to raise your frequency. We need to raise our frequency so that we can communicate, connect with these higher beings, so that we can receive. As your frequency starts to rise, I want you to visualize it rising from your toes, rising up to your ankles, and it's like percolating. This frequency, this vibration starts to go faster and faster, rises up to your knees, rising up to your hips, going into your spine at the root chakra, rising up through the spine, all the way up, touching the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, rising up now, past your mouth and your jaw, past your ears, your sinuses, behind your sinuses, your third eye, into the crown chakra at the top of your head. The crown chakra is a white lotus flower at the top of your head. And this energy of this high frequency that is rising up, it causes that chakra, that lotus flower, to open, and all of those petals start to lay back, opening in a relaxed way, revealing the center of the flower. And when I see that white lotus flower on the top of your head with the center nice and open to receive, I'm going to connect it now to God's source before we get started. So spiraling now the white light in the top of your head, I'm going to pull on it, extend it, expand it, spiraling upwards. So it spirals upwards above the body into the room that you're in, going up through the ceiling, just the spiraling white light, piercing through the ceiling, the roof of the home that you're in, going up into the sky, into Earth's atmosphere, all the way up, going through the planetary grid into outer space. And here in outer space, where it's black, silent, cold, we rise even higher, rising up with this spiraling motion through the stars and the Milky Way, going all the way to the edge of the universe where the stars end. And at that edge of the universe, there is a doorway of light. This doorway leads to God's source, Father, Mother, God, the Great Spirit, the universal consciousness. Whatever term you prefer, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. And this doorway, it's got a curved arch at the top. You can see the light coming through the cracks. It cracks open a little bit. It's glowing so brightly white and golden light. It opens a little further, just enough for you to slip through. So I'm taking that extension of your own energy at your crown and passing it through this doorway, right into the heart of God's source. And I'm going to ask God's source now, please anchor us here, anchor us in your heart for this experience. Anchor us in the highest frequencies of unconditional love, potential, creation itself. Let everything that comes through in this session be divinely true. Let it be based in truth, divinely timed, divinely orchestrated, exactly the healing, clearing, and activation that each individual needs. Let them receive it now. Let this be like a miracle of healing, alignment, connection, and empowerment. Let everyone participating experience great up levels, upgrades, in their own awareness, spirituality, joy, abundance, expansion, happiness, power. Thank you. Okay, so now we set the sacred space. We are in the divine white light. Everything that comes through now is divinely true. Trust what you receive. Trust everything that you see and feel and hear. You are safe, you are protected, and we are ready. And don't forget to breathe. Now we're going to start the Rainbow Warrior activation, and I'm going to ask you to stay in your receiving mode, letting your body be relaxed, your human body be so relaxed, but your soul, your consciousness to be very alert and aware. I see now coming towards us, and it happens to everyone at the same time. This is a multidimensional experience. The being walking towards you now is from not only the angelic realms, but the highest realms of the angels. This is a seraphim angel. And it is glowing so brightly with rainbow light. It is coming off of it in waves. It's so bright you can barely see the angel's form at the center. But as they get closer and closer and closer, you see that they are two giant wings of rainbow light with an orb of rainbow energy at the center. This is a being of pure rainbow frequency. Highly wise, highly intelligent, an extension of God's source itself. And as this angel starts to flap its wings towards you, it starts sending in these cascading waves towards you all of this rainbow light. And it looks like mist, like when you have a hose or a spray of water and you see the rainbow in that. It's like this misty, cool, refreshing rainbow energy that is being waved over you. Every time it waves its wings, every time it flaps its wings, this gust of wind comes towards you. And this mist of this rainbow energy is so fine, it's so little that it permeates your aura. It starts going in at the bottom of the aura, which is the egg-shaped energy field around your body. It starts filling in and filling in and filling in. And as it fills in with rainbow light, it starts to push out of your aura anything that does no longer align for you, that is not for your highest good, that doesn't align with these rainbow high frequencies. So any dark entities, parasites. Oh, I'm also seeing actually some of you have some tears in your aura, and it's like healing them over. I see them coming together and smoothing over. So right now, this rainbow light is fully encased in your aura. It is full now. And any tears, any snags, any holes are seamlessly sealing up. That's really important so that you're not drained and that you feel the fullness of your power. So healing all of these aura, any aura damage. And then any of those like little icky parasites, Klingons, anything that wasn't meant to be there, that's not really a part of you, it just falls away because it can't cling to energy that is this high frequency. It falls away, no matter how deeply embedded it is. Okay, no matter how far that leech or that parasite has gone in, I see them being ejected and thrown quite far from you. And then I see, this is quite a funny visual, Archangel Michael's pulled out this, I guess it's a divine tool, but it's a vacuum. And he's going around vacuuming up all of these little parasites and bugs all around you. And if you're clairaudient, you might hear the vacuum. Okay, wonderful. So we've got the aura filled with this rainbow light now. I see that this is the light that we're going to be working with. And I see that seraphim angel turning and leaving. So I just want to send it gratitude and thanks. Okay, so now I'm going to be directing this rainbow mist that's in your aura into the places in your body where we can access those versions of yourself. I'm being told now that the aura work is done and it's time to move into the energy centers. So I'm going to direct some of this rainbow energy now downwards, down into your root chakra. So this is at the very base of your spine, your tailbone. It's what you'd be sitting on right now if you're sitting up. This is a red chakra, and it's the base of your foundation of feeling safe, feeling like you have all of your needs met, food, shelter. It develops between the ages of like 0 to 5, sometimes 7 years old. It's a very young chakra. Okay, so these are your belief structures too. That's a big deal. All right, so we definitely want to get some rainbow light in here. But I'm hearing now from your team, maybe from yourselves, actually, the parallel versions of you. I'm hearing now that there are there are portals apparently within the human body. There are portals inside each one of these energy centers. And we're going to be utilizing the portals in each chakra to access a certain version of you. So there's a message coming through before we do this, because someone needs to hear this. A rainbow warrior is not all love and light. It is really important for you to know that there is so much power when you integrate your shadows. You do not have to be afraid of these sides of yourself. You just have to love them. You just have to accept them. I'm telling you this now because at the root, it would appear that these chakras of yours are going to be representing different dimensions. And here at the root, the parallel version of you that we're going to be accessing is called an astral version. This is a non-physical parallel version of you having an experience right now in either 4D or below. So it might be below Earth, might be like, below 3D. So you can imagine that that might be difficult for you to visualize or maybe integrate, but it shouldn't be, because every part of you is so worthwhile. And it's important that you have a presence in every dimension for your own wholeness and also for the work that you can do there. Okay, so we're in the root chakra now. I've manipulated this rainbow mist down into the root. I see a portal. I want to go through that portal with the rainbow. We're taking the rainbow energy with us. Okay, we're forming connections. So we're going to take this rainbow energy. We're going to go through this portal. We're going to find this parallel version of you, and we're going to connect to it. But because we are connecting with this super, super high frequency, this rainbow light from a literal seraphim angel, doesn't get higher than that. Because of that, the only things that can travel through this connection are for your highest good. So you don't have to worry about receiving like trauma backlash or anything like that when we use connections built out of this powerful, potent rainbow frequency. So visualize now this portal that is opened up in your root chakra. What color is it? If your root chakra is red, what color do you see? This little spinning energy circle that is this portal truly that you can travel through. Is it dark? Does it look black to you? Because I have a feeling different people, because we're all so unique, will see different things. For me personally, it's pretty dark. Okay. It looks kind of like going into a cave in a way. So I'm going to take visualizing now, and I want you to do the same. Visualize like grabbing that rainbow frequency, almost like you would grab a rope. Okay. And even if you want to like sling it over your shoulder to carry it with you, walk yourself through that portal. And we're going to come out the other side and see what version of you is here. So taking the energy with us, traveling through that portal in the root chakra, coming out the other side. And on the other side, in these astral realms, it's non-physical. So everything kind of seems really dreamy. I'm seeing actually just a lot of gray. A ton of gray colors. It's all very blurry. It's almost like in this version, maybe I'm a ghost, like one of those earthbound spirits that live in the 4th dimension, but you might find something lower, and that's okay. You might find something below 3D. If you have, a dark version of yourself, I don't want you to be afraid of that. I need you to love and embrace that and know how safe and protected you are, and that is being shown to you for a reason. Okay, there's something there. There's a soul gift, there's power, there's energy. And by connecting with them with this rainbow light, you are showing them so much compassion, love, and it will heal them in a big way. So lots of work happening on both ends, okay, because you are all of these focal points. You are it. Okay, so going through that root chakra, what did you see when you came out? I saw a lot of like gray haziness. Like I'm in a room, a building, maybe, but instead of looking like if I was staying there as a human, it's like what the the astral being would see, where everything's kind of wavy and moving. So I want to find this version of myself, and I see I'm like a dark shadow in a corner. I actually think, I literally believe that I am a ghost somewhere. Like, and that happens, right? We have to have compassion, because if a part of us is so traumatized that they can't cross over yet, that just deserves so much love. So I'm going to walk up to this version of myself, whatever version of yourself you see, please walk up to them now. Greet them however way you'd like, but go up gently. Don't go up blazing, like with loud energy. Let's go up peacefully. They'll recognize you. And you can let them know, I'm here to help. We have something that we can share. We have a lot that we can share between us right now. And I've got this offering, and it's this rainbow light. And I'm wondering if you would like to connect to this. And for me, this version of me is a little uncertain, but then she feels the warmth and the glow of this light, and it feels like safety, home, probably everything she's been craving. And so she puts out her hand tentatively, and I place this rope in her hand. And as soon as I do, I see it going into her, like it turns to liquid. It goes into her hand. It starts seeping up the arm, and she's staring at it in fascination as it cycles into the heart. And that's the connection that we want. We want this to land in the heart of each one of our selves. Okay, so this rainbow light is now in the heart. I actually just see this version of myself, this like that I didn't even know existed before today, just like taking a breath. And I feel a little emotional just watching how much, like, I think she's really been like living in a loop of suffering. And I feel like this kind of just gave her this awakening. And I saw her take this breath, and I kind of feel, and I hope, and I set the intention that this will set her free. And there's a reason that I was meant to connect with her on my end too. It's not all just giving. We're going to receive something too. So what are you now receiving from this version of yourself? I feel like I'm going to receive gifts regarding astral travel, like a new way to astral travel, a new power with it, a new, I don't know, airiness, maybe I want to say something that's really going to help me with my like journeys. So again, if you're having a similar experience to me, that's perfect and beautiful. If you are having your own experience right now with a being, that is perfect and beautiful. Trust. Remember, we're trusting what comes through because the sacred space was set. Okay, it's time to move on though. We got work to do. So you can come back and visit any one of these versions of yourself that you would like. Just follow the rainbow light cord. It's like a cord back to them so you can't get lost. So we're coming back out now, going through the portal, little wave goodbye to that version of you. They'll be okay. Coming back into the root chakra, and I want you to rise up. As we rise from one chakra to the other, it might feel like a spinning energy. That's totally normal. So as we rise from the root chakra, we're going into the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is between your hips, low belly. It's orange. This is the center of divine feminine. Everybody has it, whether you're man or woman, you have a center of divine feminine. You need it. We all need this balance. It's also your center for intuition, creativity. There's another word that wants to come through. Earthy wisdom. That's what I just heard. Okay, so intuition, creativity, the wisdom, that earthiness, that groundedness, being a grounded person who is wise and can perceive what's right for you. That's intuition, the power of knowing if it's good for you or bad for you. This is a great navigational tool. It's a beautiful center of creativity though too. I love to create from this space. So again, after we've directed this rainbow light here, I'm seeing it filling in, it fills in the chakra, and then a portal appears at the center of the rainbow light this time. So the rainbow light is almost creating the portal. It's swirling around it. Okay, my portal now looks kind of like rainbow energy, but whatever your portal looks like is perfect. Just know that it's there. And this is a very real experience. And we are going to pass through, again, this portal of the sacral and see what parallel version of ourselves are we going to be connecting with. Good. Okay, so walking through that portal, if it makes you feel spinny, you just breathe, wiggle your toes. That sometimes helps, because portals, again, are quite a spinning energy. So going through that portal to the other side, what do you see? What's your first impression? Is it a color, a place, a word? For me, I heard priest and priestess. So these are the versions of ourselves that are priests and priestesses from ancient civilizations, ancient Egypt, the Aztecs, the Mayans, ancient civilizations, indigenous civilizations, like the medicine woman, the shamans, the priests, the priestesses. This is human incarnations that you have had here on earth. Okay, so now we're on earth. So there's a version of you. I'm seeing myself Egyptian. Okay, a lot of ancient Egypt has been coming up for me lately. So I'm seeing myself as an ancient Egyptian, like priestess, a healer. And as I walk up to that version of myself, I see the ancient Egypt clothing. I'm wearing this silk yellow dress, a gold headdress, lots of jewelry. And as I walk up to her, it's interesting how familiar a parallel version of you is. They don't look, it's not that they look just like you, but they feel familiar. The eyes are the same. Like there's so much similarities there. You feel that it's you. You know that it's you. So walk up to that version of you, this powerful earth being, this human that ascended into this priest or priestess archetype. They had so much power. Okay. And as we walk up to them, what we are offering with this rainbow light to them again is a lot of healing and a lot of love. I'm hearing the words transformation through healing. So this is something that they need. Okay, this is something that's really going to help them heal their own karma, which is your karma. So that's perfect. All right, so I want you to offer this rainbow light. And this time I don't see it as a rope. Every time it's different. This time I see like I have rainbow light in my hands, like I'm cupping them together and I have this rainbow light. And this version of myself kneels down and drinks it. And I just pour it in from my hands down, like down her mouth, and it goes down and I see it infusing her. And again, it settles in the heart. It goes right to the heart. So in the sacral chakra, going through that portal, finding the priest or priestess that you were, healing their karma, healing them with so much love. Just your awareness itself that they exist is so healing. But this high seraphim angel frequency is the gift. So what are you receiving back from your priestess self? Ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, esoteric wisdom about the universe itself, but also about alchemy. Alchemy, how things are transmuted and transformed. This can be physical, like if any of you work with candles, oils, crystals, spells, or it can be like incantations, affirmations, the way that you use your words. However you use alchemy, however you use your gifts to transform or transmute things. And then that ancient wisdom. There's so much wisdom in the eyes of this version of you. I'm getting some glimpses. There's a lot of ancient Egypt people here. Okay, a ton. But I am seeing some indigenous as well, like the shaman energy is definitely coming through. Imagine just if you have a shaman on the other side of this life, okay, that's you. Just imagine the kinds of wisdom that they could share with you. Like they are dream walkers. They walk between worlds. Just imagine the kinds of soul gifts, talents. It's so powerful. So thank you. Thank them. Make sure you thank them. Thank you so much. And you don't have to know exactly what you're receiving because it will show up. It will start to show up for you in your life here. Now that this connection is created and all that can travel through this rainbow light, remember, is for your highest good. So don't be in any fear at all. So thank you to these ancient versions of our earth selves. Let's go back. So traveling back now through the sacral, back into the human body, we're moving through your body as the soul that we are. We're moving our consciousness through, using these energy centers as portals. So moving up now, the next spot is the solar plexus. That's at the top of your stomach where your ribs start to separate. This is the center of divine masculine. It's the center of divine action. Okay, taking action, making things happen, action, alignment through action. Like when you take the steps, when you have this goal, and then you actually take the steps to make it happen. Divine masculine is so important. It has so much to offer us. All right, so let's bring the rainbow energy here. And this time I'm seeing it flowing in like a waterfall, which is really interesting. It's different every time. So now it's pouring, like just within the solar plexus, I see a little mini rainbow waterfall. And for me, the portal's behind the water. So I kind of have to walk through that curtain of water and go into this portal, which is like a wet cave, like dripping with this water. And as I walk through the cave, it's a little bit of a longer portal, going through like this rock like tunnel, it feels like. And when I come out the other side, all I see is space, stars, constellations. And now I'm seeing a giant spaceship. And I know this because I've seen it before. I know who this is. This is the Galactic Federation of Light. Okay, so they're pulling up to the portal, the side that you came out, opening up that like door that they have at the bottom. It looks like a drawbridge almost. It opens up. We're going inside, and they're ushering us to the main meeting chamber, this huge room where all of the different star nations meet, the heads of the star nations. I guess they've been expecting us because all the seats are full. And there are so many seats here. This room is huge. It's got the tallest ceilings. It's all white. And then around you in the shape of a horseshoe are these rows of seats that go up like bleachers, higher, higher, higher. And they're reserved for a representative of every star nation. There are a lot of star nations. Okay, a star nation means Pleiades, Andromeda, and Arcturian. A being, like a head of state from each one of those is here today. So here we are walking into the center of this huge meeting room. So guess what was on the other side of your solar plexus? A galactic version of you, your galactic self, the one that wants to work with you right now. Okay, so I already saw some of you being approached. So as we're standing on the floor in this meeting room, and there's these giant horseshoe like levels of seating, your version, the parallel version of you, the galactic one, is coming up to you, like literally walking right up to you and looking you in the eyes. There are a lot of mantis beings here. That is super cool. Like, I don't know if you guys knew that you had all these mantis connections, but there's so many mantis beings. I'm seeing Pleiadian, mantis. I probably wouldn't be able to name all the ones I'm seeing. I'm just naming some of the ones that I'm seeing. So many galactic beings. Who else is here? And remember, tune in. What are you receiving? I'm seeing the tall whites, some tall whites here, which is really interesting. They do a lot of like hybrid projects in a beautiful, loving way that, you know, assist people. It's all in the light. Andromedans, okay. Arcturians, of course. Lots of different systems represented here. I'm seeing beings that I haven't seen before, that I don't know the name of the species, but they're telling me where they're from. I'm seeing Mars beings. I'm seeing definitely Orion here. A lot of the Milky Way. Okay, so within the Milky Way, that's where this section of galactic beings that represent your parallel self right now are from. So not from a distant galaxy, here in the Milky Way, really not that far away. Okay. All right. So as this galactic being comes up to you, I want you to try to see yourself in them if you can. Remember, the eyes are really helpful. I'm seeing an insectoid being that's come up to me. It's not a mantis, but it's some other insect. I've never seen this version of myself before. It's very cool. It's like almost like a cone-shaped head at the top, like it goes up really pointy, and then these very like slanted, thin eyes. I don't even know what kind of insect it would be. There's wings, there's lots of legs happening. Like I can see I'm divine feminine, but I'm this insectoid being, and I maybe I'll be able to download more information later. But just if you haven't seen this being before, that's kind of the point of today anyway, to really receive these gifts. So when you're ready, how do you have the rainbow light this time? So for me, because it was water, I'm holding like literally a mug. It looks like a coffee mug of water, which is so weird. And this being knows what to do. She takes it, I hand it to her, she takes it and she drinks it again. Okay, so that's how this, for me, how this is, the connection is being made. As the rainbow light is, I feel like this being might have see-through skin or skeleton, whatever it's called on an insect, that outer shell might be see-through, because I actually saw the rainbow light going down the throat and settling into the heart. I don't know if it was just glowing and I could see it through them, or if they're transparent. It doesn't matter, but just an interesting thing. Okay, so it settled into their heart. So here's this beautiful galactic being. You are offering them so much by connecting with them. Don't ever doubt the immense enormity of the gift that you're offering with this rainbow light, and just with yourself. Offering your own like friendship, relationship, connection, that's huge. But then we're also bringing this beautiful gift, okay, which is like the highest frequency. What are they offering you though? What are you receiving right now? Because I keep hearing the word ambassador. I keep hearing that I'm going to be receiving gifts that will help me to be a more powerful ambassador, because I consider myself a teacher and a healer and all these things, but they're saying to me ambassador, like this ambassador, I want to say blueprint, I guess, blueprint that is like being overlaid now over my human self, that I can now utilize and use, which are different skills than I've been using. It's going to just expand everything that I am and that I'm trying to do here on earth. So are you also receiving or feeling or knowing that it's an ambassador thing? Or are you receiving a leader, a teacher, an energy worker or mover, a portal? What is it called? So some people have power where they can create portals, and that's very useful. So there's some here that are like, they work with time and energy and portals. I don't know what the title of that would be. Like a portal master, let's just say that. What else is there? What else are you receiving? I just want to see if I can help you by picking up on some of the gifts that you're receiving. A lot of just like leaders, where you're going to be like using, coming out of the spiritual closet, I just heard. So a lot of you are going to be receiving courage and leadership, finally coming out of that spiritual closet to the people in your life, where you don't have to feel like you're two different people or living two different lives. You need to be authentic all the time. So coming out of the spiritual closet with a lot of this energy, leading, not being afraid, not hiding away, especially the galactic parts of you. Why would you hide anything that you are? Be proud to be a starseed. Okay, perfect. So I'll give you another second there with this galactic version of you. Make sure to thank them though before you leave. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go back through the portal the way that we came. So just look for it. It should be, oh, okay, sorry. I see the ship actually bringing us back to our portals. So you'll be kind of dropped off at the portal that you went through. You just have to walk back through. So I'm coming back through that waterfall, coming back into my solar plexus, which apparently is this galactic center, which is so cool. So far we've uncovered at the root chakra, like astral or lower energies. At the sacral chakra, these priestess archetypes, ancient civilizations and knowledge. In the solar plexus, galactic center. Okay, so what are we going to find next? Like, who even knows? All right, so let's move up into the heart now. So you're going to feel again like I'm spiraling your energy upwards as I bring you up into your heart. Now let's pull the rainbow energy, pulling it in from the aura, that mist, pulling it into the heart. How does it show up for you here in the heart? For me, this time I'm hearing and feeling or knowing, seeing rain. It's like rain. It's gentle, the most gentle, lightest rainfall. It's so refreshing and beautiful. And I'm seeing the rainbow light playing in this rainfall because it loves water and mist, right? So this rainbow light's dancing now in this water, in this rain. So pretty. Okay, so I'm going to ask this rainbow light to now create the portal to the next version of myself. And the rain begins to swirl and swirl and swirl until it takes on this circular portal shape. And then I hear almost like a sucking motion, like when water is sucked out of a drain and it goes back. So I'm able to travel through it. Okay, so it feels kind of small for some reason. So I'm getting down on my hands and knees. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing myself do this, crawling through this portal that's made of rain and rainbow light. Like, how incredible. So crawling through the portal in the heart, what will we find here? I don't know. But when I come out the other side, I see a meadow, and it's the most clear blue day. And I'm standing with all of these wildflowers around me. There's forests. It feels really magical here. Like, I actually think I'm in an enchanted forest right now with a beautiful meadow at the center. There's, oh wow, there's so many elemental beings here. Unicorns, dragons, fae, like fairies, elven beings, brownies, sprites, gnomes, the little tiny fairies, the little woodland fairies, a lot of elemental beings. Okay. There's something else that wants to come through. One sec. What was that? Oh, okay. They're showing me that I'm not seeing this on my end, but that someone else's experience, having experience with like mermaids, like mer people, and that would also be considered an elemental. So if you walked out to some kind of water and there were mermaids there, you're perfect. I see that too. You're on track. Good. Okay, so whatever elemental being is you, it's going to walk up to you now or fly up to you, however it needs to. And I already know, and I already see coming across the field, the most beautiful unicorn, because that's me. It's glowing so brightly, but I know a ton of you are going to be dragons, fairies, all these different ones. Let it come up to you. It wants to come to you. So just wait. And I'm hearing bird song. Like, this is such a beautiful place. I feel so at home here. Loving it. Loving the energy. Okay, so the unicorn is doing something really unexpected. It came up to me and then it immediately kneeled, like a greeting, but it made me feel like, wow, because to me, it's so magical, yet it's kneeling to me, like saying like respectful hello. Okay, that was amazing. And it has its head bowed and its horn pointed towards me, and it's not getting back up. So it's waiting for me to do something. So I'm figuring that it's waiting for me to send the rainbow light in. And I don't actually know where the rainbow light is right now. I came through the portal, so I'm looking around to see where it is. And as I look down at myself, I just see it in the palm of my hands glowing. The palms, the center of my hands are glowing with rainbow light. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place both hands on the horn of this unicorn. And I'm going to, using my breath and my intention, send it in. And the horn transforms from this like white horn that it was into like a glowing rainbow. And it's a moving energy, like a lava lamp almost, where the colors are swirling, dancing. It's beautiful. It's in the horn now. And now that I've done that, this unicorn stands up and it's coming close to me. I don't know why. It's touching me with its horn. Okay, so first it touched, it's quite tall, so it like had no problem. It tapped me with this horn. It tapped me on the third eye, it tapped me on the throat, and it tapped me on the heart, like where the heart chakra would be, all three centers. And I felt something, like I felt warmth or heat. It was like tap, tap, tap. So for me, what I'm receiving is that I'm going to be, from this version of me, they've received their gift. So now what they're gifting to me is this new ability with my third eye to not only just see with my third eye, but to be able to communicate it. You know, that's why my throat was tapped, to be able to explain more clearly everything that I'm seeing, explain my visions, and to understand in my heart what they mean. So like a translation and a communication of my clairvoyance to a new degree, which is so exciting. What are you receiving? What did the animal or the elemental, if it was a fairy or whatever, did they touch a part of you? Did they say something? Do you recognize yourself in them? Awesome, beautiful. I feel like there's a few people that aren't done yet. And I feel like I'm sensing a ton of dragon energy too, which is really cool. Okay, so make sure to thank this version of you. I was going to say, make sure to thank this guide. It's not a guide. I mean, they are guiding you, but it's you. So make sure to thank them. And every time I want to say too, every time I see myself walking away from these versions of myself, I see the rainbow light trailing behind me. like as if it would be easy for me to find them again. Like I'm laying these pathways, which are these connections, like the yellow brick road, where I can't lose this part of myself anymore. And the connection is really powerful and it's there. And again, remember what we're sending through that connection always now is back and forth, giving and receiving things that are for the highest good. So I can send love and healing and friendship, and it can send me these powerful gifts that I mentioned, or probably other things in the future too. Who knows where this will lead? These relationships are so valuable. They are resources. Okay. Oh, I'm getting so hot. Whenever I do this, I get so hot. All right. So we are going to come back into the hearts now. So I want you to find that portal. For me, I was in a field. I have to turn around and look for it. I see the spiral of like that rainbow light and the rain. And I see like a glowing green at the other end, which is my heart. So I'm going to crawl back through, because for some reason mine was really small and I had to crawl for this one. Don't know why. Crawling back through, back into the heart. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to rise up to the throat. Okay. That's the next energy center. So spiraling you, spinning your energy upwards and bringing your consciousness into the throat. That's at the very base of your throat. And when you enter here, you might feel a little like pressure at the base of your throat. That's totally normal. All right, so the throat is this sky blue. It's a beautiful blue color. It's really expansive. I'm going to bring the rainbow energy here. And when I do, it just looks like it looks like a rainbow in the sky. That is your throat, except for this rainbow is a circle. And I think that that's symbolic. I think that that's symbolic for like, it's never depleted. It's just always empowering itself, right? It's like, it never depletes. So I see a circular rainbow in the sky of the throat chakra. Okay, now at the center of that circle is this portal that is created. And again, that spinning energy that then pulls away from you to create a tunnel for you to go through. This time I feel like I need to fly, which is no problem in our astral selves. So I'm going to like allow myself in my mind's eye, imagining it. That's all it takes to create this experience, is to lift off from the ground, going through that portal in the sky, the portal of your throat. And when I come out of that, I'm seeing, what am I seeing? It's dark. It's dark, but I think there's stars. Am I in space? It feels like I'm in space, but I'm not. It's like the place that I arrived at, the sky was so expansive. It's almost like I'm in an African Sahara something, like some beautiful place where there is, or some kind of desert or something, where it's just sky above, and it makes the sky feel really close because there's no buildings, there's nothing. It's just, there's nothing to stop the landscape of the sky. You can look left, you can look right. It just keeps going and going and going. And it's a really beautiful night. It's a nice, cool night, dark sky, sparkling white pinpricks of stars. I'm hearing crickets. There's a bit of a dampness. I'm feeling a bit of like dampness on my feet from the night dew. I don't know where I am, but here I am waiting for this version of myself to arrive. And all at once, all of these feline beings, I want to say lions, tigers, panthers, cougars, jaguars, all of these really big, beautiful feline beings start coming towards me. Some of them are humanoid from Lyra, and they walk on their back feet like a human would. They often have clothing on. Some of them are just straight animal aspect, like from Sirius, the lions, the golden lions from Sirius, where they are just the lions with these higher consciousness. All of these, okay, it's like they're surrounding me, but I don't feel obviously threatened by it. And it just makes me wonder, are all of these me or just one? Because there's so many, and there's lots of different feline beings. It's very intense, the energy, because it's dark, it's night, and they all kind of walked up really slowly and then like formed a circle around me. And I'm just waiting, what's going to happen? Okay, one is coming forward. I feel like this is a masculine being. I do feel like it's a version of myself, actually. And it is, It is not humanoid. It is walking on all fours, but it is this white lion. This beautiful white lion. And it has blue eyes and it's glowing. It's like glow. It's in the night sky. It's actually like glowing quite a bit and lighting up the space around it. So wherever this being is from, I don't know, but it's a glowing white lion from somewhere. I feel galactic. It's telling me I will find out. Like, this is a mystery that I'll get to figure out as we go ahead. So this version of myself is masculine. So that's normal to have like gender switches in the different lifetimes that you've lived. But it's gathered all of these different feline beings from around the Milky Way galaxy to assist with this. And it's just waiting for me to hold out. This time I have like a string or a rope of this rainbow energy, and it opens its mouth and it wants me to like lay it inside of its mouth. Like, so I'm just gonna, as the lion opens its mouth, I kind of just like, I don't know, I guess it wants me to put it there. So I put this string or this rope of rainbow energy in its mouth, and it starts to chew. And as it chews, it's pulling it up and eating it like a treat. So it's eating up this rope that I brought. And of course, then I see that energy going down and settling in the heart. Okay, so I've given my gift. So what is going on? Like, what am I going to receive here? Okay, so before I receive it, they described a little bit so it didn't scare me. They're telling me that they are going to roar. They're all going to roar at once, so loud, on the perfect frequency tone for the throat chakra, that it's going to, like, I want to say, shatter any blocks or density that I hold in my throat about not speaking up, not using my voice. This is like a throat chakra, almost like an upgrade, a huge empowerment in the throat chakra. Okay, they want me to stop talking and just allow myself to receive. So I'm just going to breathe and hold space while this happens. But if anything like this is going on for you in the throat where you're about to receive a roar or anything like that, just tune in, listen with your whole body. It's beautiful. It's like a chorus. They didn't all start at once. Some started and then the others joined in, and it was almost like a harmony, like a wolf pack in a way, but not, because these are all like these incredible cats. And it's making me smile. Like, it's so powerful. It's super cool. And I'm just so grateful for this gift. And yes, I'll take a throat chakra, like expansion, upgrade. Absolutely. And I feel something happening in my throat, like it feels tight, like I want to swallow. You can have a little sip. Amazing. Okay. Powerful stuff. All right. So, okay. So make sure to thank this version of yourself. I feel like a lot of us are having the same experiences though. Like, you might not have a lion, but this is like a feline energy. This is like a cat energy, and there's so much roaring happening. This is all the throat. So make sure to thank this version of yourself. See, as you're walking away, that rainbow trail behind you to this person, to this version of you, and then going back through the portal back into your heart, or sorry, back into your throat this time. Good. So coming back into the throat. Wonderful. So we're going to do the next chakra. So we're going to spiral ourselves upwards right into the third eye. Okay, so spiraling your energy and yourself and your consciousness and your focus all the way up into the third eye. Really interesting chakra to embody. So when we get into the third eye, this should look like an indigo color. Like it's such a dark purple blue that it's almost black, but it is that purpley blue color. Maybe you see swirling energy. Maybe again, you're seeing a night sky. Whatever you're seeing is perfect. So I'm going to, now that you're there in the third eye, which is between your eyebrows, up a little ways at the center of your forehead. Now that you're there, let's send the rainbow energy in there, focusing some of that auric rainbow energy into the third eye now. So for me, what happened was the rainbow energy created like curtains, rainbow curtains across the third eye window. And when I pull back the rainbow curtains, instead of seeing out of my third eye, I see a portal. So it's like the curtains closed, there was the third eye, and then when they opened again, there was this portal. So again, let's be going through this portal to find this version of yourself that can give you something here in the third eye. Okay. So for me, I'm going down for some reason. When I go through the portal, it turns into a slide that's twisting, like spiraling downward. So I'm going down the slide. And when I land at the bottom, I'm at the bottom of like a great tree, like the biggest tree that maybe I've ever seen. Huge, huge tree. I don't know where I am. I don't know if this is Earth or some other world. I don't know. I just see a giant tree. And there's a ladder on the side of it. Kind of built in though, it's like a part of the tree, but I'm obviously supposed to climb. So I'm going to start climbing up this tree, climbing up the trunk, climbing up. The ladder goes up straight up the center. So I'm going to climb, climb, climb. It's huge, so it's taking a while. And I'm seeing a lot of things on the way. Nests, leaves, little animals. There's a breeze. And as I climb all the way up to the top, at the top of the tree, there's like a platform for me to sit on. It's really high up here though, but it's almost like a little wooden platform for me to get up and sit down on. And now I feel like I'm in the sky because everything's so far below that it's so tiny. And I just feel like there's only sky around me. And at this point, I'm seeing a ton of, I would say, avian style beings, I want to call it. Avian beings. Okay, so birds, from high dimensional birds from different places around the Milky Way galaxy. Avian beings that are part humanoid, like in Orion. So you've got like the eagle-headed beings that are like, you know, human from the shoulders down, and then they've just got these eagle heads and these wings. There's the peacock beings, the blue avians, owls, lots of owl beings, lots of avian beings. Okay, I won't name them all, just imagine there's so many. And they're all kind of circling around me, like they're flying in a circle all around above. So I'm looking up. And I see when I look through the circle of them, at the very top is a phoenix. Beautiful. And the phoenix comes down, like dive bombing down through this circle of these flying birds, comes straight down, and it lands, and it's big. Like when it lands on the platform that I'm sitting on, it shakes. And it settles down a little bit beside me, kind of flapped its wings a few times and then put them behind it. And I guess I'm looking at a version of me, an incredible phoenix. It's got a lot of like red and gold and white markings. Its eyes are yellow or gold, reflective, like they sparkle. They've got this reflectiveness to them. It's got, this is not a humanoid being, by the way. This is like full bird. It's got the beak, it's got the claws, it's got these giant wings. It's so majestic. It has a really cool, long feathers on the back of its tail, like a really decorative tail. So pretty. And it's kind of cocking its head to the side, like, what? As I'm talking, like, what are you talking about? Like, why aren't you here in this moment with me? So I'm going to join this phoenix being in that moment. And it's time for me to offer the rainbow energy. So I kind of don't know where it is again. I got to look around and see where it is on my body. You know what's so amazing is I looked and I couldn't see it anywhere, and I thought I saw it over my shoulder. And when I looked back, I had wings made out of rainbow light. That's so beautiful. There are these rainbow light wings right now out of my back. Amazing. Okay, I reached behind me and I plucked like one feather of this rainbow energy. And then I reached towards this phoenix. And as I go to place the feather in on its wing, like I took one from my own wing and gave it to it. And it feels important. Like this is a personal, intimate thing to do, to share a feather. And it's an important feather. It's like a flight feather. It's really big. And as I'm giving it to the phoenix, somehow, as I place it on the wing, it takes its place there and becomes a part of it. And I see a quick flash of rainbow light go all the way over the phoenix, almost like a flame, which makes sense for a phoenix. It went whoosh over it and then went back out. So something was activated within the phoenix when I did that. Okay, so now what is this? What are all of these avian beings doing here? What is this phoenix going to offer to me? And to us, what is our gift? So it got up really close to me with its eyes open, and it turned its head to the side, so it was just one eye, and it got really close, my eye to its eye, so that we were looking in each other's eyes. And as I was looking in its eye, I saw the earth like a little marble of blue and green, and it's telling me that I will receive a higher perspective, which makes so much sense for a bird that flies so high, but also for this, like, phoenixes are just ancient and wise. They understand a higher perspective because they go through the cycle of death and rebirth so often. They really have an understanding of what I would say oneness is, that circle of oneness and of life. Okay, so it's just like really intently staring in my one eye. I think like maybe coding is being exchanged here, because I feel something going in through my eye, and it's making my sinuses feel like pressure or something. And then I feel it almost going to my pineal gland, like deep at the center of the brain, going through the eye into the pineal gland. I hope you're all experiencing this as well. Amazing. So that bird, when it was done, it just took off in flight. And so I begin to climb down that ladder. And then I realize I have wings, and I allow myself to just float down. And then I'm seeing the portal at the base of the tree for me to go through. When I come through the other side, back into my third eye, there's no more wings. It's like they existed only there in this bird realm, which was really cool. Okay, awesome. All right, so now we're ending. We're going up to the crown chakra now. So spiraling our energy up into the white lotus flower of the crown chakra. And we're going to get you there first. So visualizing this white flower around you. You're probably standing at the center, like I am, of the crown chakra, so that there's petals all around you. And then we're pulling in rainbow light there, filling up the center of the flower with this rainbow light. And the portal this time looks like different. It looks like, like when people get, I can't think of any other term other than like getting beamed up, like a light beam that picks people up onto spaceships or whatever. It looks like that. Okay, so there's a light beam above me shining down on me. And as soon as I notice it, I'm immediately lifted into the air, going upwards, being beamed up basically into rainbow light, more rainbow light. And I'm going up to a place that looks like clouds, but it's setting me on the clouds, like I can stand on them. So I've got beamed all the way up and then kind of dropped off on this cloud floor. And it's really soft. And it's weird because every time I go to take a step, the cloud meets my foot, like to stabilize me. So it's not there before I step, but I can step and it's like meeting each step perfectly. I could run and it would do it. Yet there was nothing there before I went to take a step. So it's really cool. All right. I'm seeing, I don't know why, but I'm seeing like as I move through these on this cloud pathway, I guess, I come to these beautiful gates, these golden gates. I know I'm not in heaven. It's just a really similar visual. There's these golden gates, and on the other side, I see a ton of people, like a ton of people. All right. And when I walk up to the gate, there's someone there. They open it for me and I go through, and then they close it. And they're telling me now, as I walk into this place, whatever this place is, all of the people that were chattering and really busy, they all kind of step to the side and they create like a pathway for me to walk down. And then as I'm walking down, they're all hushing and watching me walk. And as I walk and I get to the center, there's this dais or this like podium of some kind. And I'm just hearing now that I'm in the realm of the ascended masters. So that means that you have a version of yourself that is an ascended master who's about to meet you here. They might be human, they might, I mean, they don't have to be though. Any being can ascend into the ascended realms where they are very almost like angels in a way. The ascended realms tend to be 11th, sometimes 12th dimensional. Angels are 12 to about 14. So it's just below those angelic realms. All right. So your ascended version of you is coming forward now. And it all feels very ceremonial because everyone's just standing around watching. And suddenly, where I said there was like this podium, I was wrong. It's like a fountain. It's the stone fountain that has risen up, and it starts to fill with water, but it's rainbow water. And it's just like a little fountain spray. And this ascended version of you, whoever they are, comes up to meet you at this fountain. What do you see? Male or female, human, galactic, animal. Trust in your first instincts. So for me, it is not human. It is a tigress being, this ascended tigress. And she said to me, Vega, which is where she was from originally before she ascended. And so apparently I brought the water with me because this is the gift and it's shown up here in this fountain. And I see her leaning down to drink out of it. And she says, thank you. And when she's done, the fountain disappears, like it just came up for that. And then she asks me to sit down with her for a second. And she wants to share with me what soul gift she's going to be sending me through this connection. She's saying miracles of healing. Not only for myself, but for others. Like an upgrade to my healing abilities, but also just my understanding of how it works, how energy works, how frequency works. It's not just a skill of healing, it's all of the information behind that. She is like a powerful healer and an energy worker. And she's saying she does her work in the frequency because that's where, like, instead of in the physical human body, she does all of her work in the frequency fields, energy fields. She's showing me that energy work can be done in the energy fields of anyone. And then the results, the solutions, the healing gets absorbed into the physical body afterwards. Everything starts as energy first, everything, and then it moves into the physical realms. Even when we manifest, things start as energy and then they slowly move into the physical realms. She's showing me that that's the way that I'll be doing healing. And this is like a gift that she has that's from her. It's so powerful. So what did you receive from your ascended version of you? Amazing. I want to thank her before I head back out, going back to the crown chakra. Beautiful. And now that my consciousness has kind of traveled through my body from the bottom to the top, it now goes back to where it normally sits. The seat of your soul is between your heart and your throat. It's called the high heart. There's a throne there or a seat where the soul operates from. It's kind of towards the back near your spine. So my soul is just automatically going to where it is comfortable, where it hangs out. It's going back there. And whenever you're ready or whenever you're comfortable, after you've thanked your guide and come back into your body, you can feel free to come back into this moment with me. And I'm gonna see here now that we're back, if anybody wants to share. There's a ton happening in the chat, but I'm gonna give like any opportunities for someone that wants to share, not in the chat, like to literally just unmute yourself and share. I think I just changed it so you could unmute yourself. So you should be able to do that. So is there anybody here that would like to share a part of their experience? Maybe one of the parallel versions of themselves that they met? And if so, please you can just unmute yourself. You don't need to like put your hand up or anything. Just unmute yourself and go ahead and share. Okay, so, and as I'm waiting for somebody, whoever would like to share first. Yes, I'm hot too, Mateo, like extremely hot. It's so hot. Oh, doing that work is like fire. It's like so much fire. So I really hope that you all received something powerful. Even if you received one of those gifts, how much of a difference would that make? But we just received so many, and they're all from yourself. And those connections remain in place through that rainbow like ribbon that is behind you every time you walked away. It just remains in place. And now being able to like reach through time and space to all of these different versions of yourself. And it doesn't have to be limited to what we did today. You can do this when you find new versions of yourself. I would always suggest using rainbow connection so that whatever's coming back through that connection is for your highest good. That rainbow is like a filter. Okay. So it's not going to just send like trauma at you, which you don't want, right? Like you want it to be filtered through this rainbow light. But then you're free to like play and experiment with these soul gifts, learn, go and visit these parallel versions of yourself, learn about their worlds, their wisdom. Beautiful. Okay. Does anybody want to be brave enough to share?
Could I share?
Yes, Hibba, please do.
Yeah, so what's it called? So for the first one, I noticed I was getting so anxious for like the I guess root chakra
Ooh,
stuff,
okay.
basically. And I think I saw like a demon of some kind, like again, I don't know if I was inventing it or not, but either way. Um like dark skin or whatever is in some kind of like dark realm. I'm not really sure. Um but what's it called? And I think the gift that being was giving me is like my ability to not recognize evil and like demonic presence and like not be scared of it either, because I'm a scaredy cat. Like I'm not traditionally I'm not very brave when it comes to that, but yeah, so essentially kind of like discernment or whatever.
Oh, that's a great word, discernment. Oh my God. Yes, I feel that. As soon as you said that, that was like confirmation. I feel like that's absolutely what you received. But also, as soon as you said, I think the gift I received in my mind, because I'm still super connected right now to this group, I heard no fear. And then you said, being able to recognize and not being afraid. Yes. So like eliminating that fear, because you are one of those, you roll with them. Like, and that's
Yeah.
okay. We need to like really integrate the fact that it's okay to be light and dark and all the grays in between. It's what makes us whole. So I applaud you for like experiencing that, seeing that, accepting that. That's
I
powerful.
mean, to be honest, this creature, like, if you get over the fact that it was a demon, it was kind of cool looking. Like, I feel like it would be fun to just be in that body, like, just for, like, the aesthetics of, like, I'm a creature now.
That's so
But,
cool.
but yeah. Also, I think, last thing I'll say, like, I think for the ascended being, I think it was, like, a tall gray, actually, but I'm not sure.
Amazing.
Which, it was cool, but, like, yeah.
I do feel like you're very galactic, so it makes sense to me that you would have like a galactic being the ascended version of you. And I definitely felt like more than one person, multiple people here were connecting to like darker versions of themselves, which you could use the word demonic or dark entity. It doesn't, shadow being, whatever. There's lots of that. And again, I think when we connect to them with rainbow light, we create a huge difference in that in that ability for that version to like almost pull us down a little bit. It like lifts everyone up, including that version of you. The frequency, right? It lifts it right up. So I think that we're doing so much good on both sides here in this life. And then you just helped that life too. I wonder what it's going to do with the rainbow light that you gave it. Like, what's going to happen with that? It's going to do something. It's going to have some effect. I wonder if it'll be all of a sudden just this like super compassionate demon. Like it'll just be going around like seeing if anyone needs anything. Like, I don't know. And can I just say that how cool is it to have a group where this is a normal conversation? That's hilarious too.
Yeah, no, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for the experience.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing. That was actually very vulnerable. So like applause to Hiba for sharing that that's a version of herself that she had, right? Like amazing. And you know, none of us are better or worse than the other. You're not too good to be a demon, guys. But you're also not so small that you're not an angel. Like we are everything. We are literally these rainbow warriors. Who else would like to share? Mateo, I feel like you're about to share.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Jenny. That was unbelievable. The amount of feelings I got, oh my God. And I loved being, sorry for my English. I love being in the Galactic Federation mothership. Like, I feel like I've been there, of course, but like to actually witness the horseshoe, all the beings there, and seeing myself there, I saw my golden eyes. Wow, amazing. But what I wanted to really share, is that all the time I had like this tension on my throat, right? And when we did the throat part, I saw myself as this beautiful white dragon that like kneeled like this, and I felt drawn to climb, and we started flying. And that was so fucking amazing. And I think what I received was like this higher perspective, right? Of seeing everything from above, but from like this beautiful and such a lovely sensation. I will never forget. And I always felt connections to dragons, but I never really thought of, hey, maybe I am also a dragon, you know? And then my throat started to like clean itself, from a manner of speaking. Sorry for my English. I'm so moved. And but yeah, and my galactic self, like, oh my God, it was so beautiful. I thank you so much, and all the people here. I love we can be doing this together. I mean, I feel less alone in the world, really.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm so happy to connect with you and everyone here. It's like we're this beautiful community, and I'm really happy that everybody could make it today. So powerful.
And thank you for doing it free. Like, this really is an amazing opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your gratitude. All right. Thank you for sharing, Mateo. I see 2 hands up. Does Francisco want to share first? You can unmute yourself.
I'll let Agnes go because she put her hand first.
Oh, okay. Very polite of you. Go ahead, Agnes.
Oh my gosh, Jenny, this was amazing. But I just wanted to point out one thing, like instead of sharing one of the areas that we went through, this morning when I woke up and I went to the kitchen, there was the most unbelievable dragonfly on my like window. And then it was like flying everywhere and following me and my daughter. And the wings were so like iridescent, but it was like clear with these little dots on it. And I'm like, who am I going to share this with? And then once we started doing the meditation and like going up higher, so like the throw and to the crown, I'm like, oh my God, I just remembered. And it all made sense because of the like the rainbow essence of ourselves, right? It was like once we started going up higher into our chakras, it was like that rainbow was made more evident within the wings. And I was like, oh my gosh, this was like my higher self that came to see me as this winged version of like a dragonfly. It was just amazing. So I just wanted to share that little clip, but it was magical. Thank you. This was like unforgettable.
Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, Agnes. I was going to say, I hope that you received a lot, but I know that you did. Trust that you received gifts in every energy center.
Yeah, so many. Thank you so much.
Good. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Francisco.
Hello, Jenny. Thank you very much. First time I'm here or with you. I accidentally just came through it on Instagram. Going through the meditation that you did, it was awesome. I actually, to be honest, I didn't see any visual or anything, but
Okay.
everything came together within the last 2 years. Everything that you mentioned, all the chakras and everything, it just connected the dots from the last 2 years that I've been having visions, downloads, everything from, I mean, from all these animals, spirits, Galactic Federation. It just all connected all at once. So I want to thank you very much. And now I understand it, because I was wondering why I'm having all these different visions and dreams from Egyptian. I was and that was a vivid vision that I had, that I was the son of a pharaoh, and I met a priest. And I was walking down, just like when you were describing the gold, I was wearing gold. And every time I was walking towards a temple, people were bowing down to me. So that was awesome. And then the vision of the Galactic Federation and spirits, I had a vision that I had two white, this was like last year, just two white entities or white light figures. They were almost like a human body form, but they were like just white, pure white. And they pointed out to a castle, like a city castle that was white. And I got the feeling that they were telling me that's where I'm from. So that was beautiful too.
That is,
So
wow.
that everything just connected, everything what you said, and I
You
kept
must
on,
have been the tall whites, because I remember saying tall whites and I'm like, who has that? But it must have been you. Because I was seeing like so much for the group. It was crazy.
and then when you mentioned about the mantis, in the
Yes.
last probably month on like Instagram feed, I've been seeing a lot of different mantis, creatures people are having on their hand, beautiful ones too. I'm like, well, I mean, nothing's by coincidence, of course.
Of course.
Just everything you mentioned is just, it just clicked to me. So I just really want to thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome. You're so welcome. And I want to just say to you that you were saying like, well, I didn't really see anything. I just want you to know that the more that you do these kinds of things, the more you will see. It just takes practice. Everyone has a third eye. Everyone has the ability to like visualize and imagine. At the beginning, the clairvoyance, which is seeing, like your psychic gift of seeing in your mind's eye. At the beginning, it feels just like a guided meditation where you're kind of visualizing it. And then as you do it more, it starts to feel like remote viewing. You get some more details. This is how your psychic gifts grow. And then eventually it's like you're fully there and having that experience. So just stick with it.
Everything was like, well, the light that I kept on seeing was like the violet purple. And then I think one of the part, I think was the chakra. I did see the ocean.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, I was at the ocean yesterday too for the full moon, because I'm over here in Cancun. So I went there, and but it just came very vivid. So that was little flashes here and there and there that I was getting.
Good. That's how it starts. That's
Yeah.
perfect. And they're quick
Yeah.
flashes, right? Yes, absolutely. Good. Thank you so much for sharing. That's
you.
awesome. Helen, did you want to share?
I would love to share. I will put my hand down after because I'm, on my phone.
That's okay.
First of all, immense gratitude to you and everyone here. I am beyond happy, beyond I'm on another level of life. I'm so hot. My heart is racing so fast. And I'm not nervous to talk. I'm like, what's wrong with my palms are sweating? I'm holding my Lemurian crystal because I need to like ground now. I feel like I'm like, oh my God, where am I? It's unbelievable. Look right here, right? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. My base was a platinum ring and it was a platinum path. When you said Egypt, I'm like, where on earth am I? I had this gold clothing and this big like headgear on, exactly like you described it. It was unbelievable. I was like, oh my God. I took some notes. Every experience was amazing. I was a dragon in that enchanted place that you said. And I blew the dust, like the rainbow light on her. She glue. It was amazing. Solar plexus. When we went, I believe that's when we went to the on the ship, right? That's the first time I went. I had this experience to see a version of me. I was this white being with these kind of like something here, very narrow, very white, unbelievable. And then I thought it was male, maybe female, I'm not sure, but it took its hand and it went to me here and here. So my third eye and my throat, something, there's a connection there. When I believe is it the throat, I think it was, I was like in a desert. It was all desert. And then this male came on a horse, all like, because the sand would go all over his mouth, I'm assuming, or his body. And he took me in this kind of like a palace underground where was this lionesses, not I guess animal, in cages. So I was guided to take the rainbow light and blow it on all of them. And one came out and it was unbelievable because I can feel the paws, right? I can feel everything. And she took her paw and put it here on my throat. And I don't know what happened, but she put it there. And it was so flippin' amazing. When you were with a phoenix, I went in a tree where there's a wizard there.
Oh, so cool.
So I was a male wizard at one of my lifetimes. I was like, oh my God. And he was doing something. So I had like a bottle with this rainbow light on my neck. It looked like a potion bottle.
Okay.
And when it was time I gave it to him, he drank it. In return, he took a book of wisdom and placed it through my chest.
Wow.
And put something on my neck. It was amazing. My like all experiences, all meeting my other parts of me was amazing. But then the last one is I think I was in heaven, just like you were describing, but I was standing on this doorway with all these clouds. And then this male came, very elderly male with a white beard and light mustache. I believe that was me because he took me, and there was female beings that were as like with him. His name is Johann. And the gift that he gave me was divine wisdom, healing, leadership. He also placed a blue sphere. He gave me a blue sphere to place in the center of the lotus on my crown, which was unbelievable. So I was like, Johann, wow. So that's the only name I got from everything, but the whole experience was.
So that your ascended master self was Johann, and then the blue
Yes.
sphere was, so blue is protective energy. So it's almost like placing a protective grid over your crown chakra so that what you're going to receive for these downloads are only for your highest good, right? Like that blue, like that's like what Archangel Michael works with, that energy, that's divine protector energy. And so that's probably going to be like a filter almost. You could visualize it like a filter. So that what comes through, it's like if it's not for your highest good, it just goes over here. It doesn't come in.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's a really good gift to get. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
But the whole,
I love it. I love it.
I'm like, I've
Love
never
your
seen so
ascended
many.
master self. That is so beautiful.
I'm a male. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm a male, and I'm very like wise, I believe. There's great wisdom within. It all kind of like, you know how Mateo was saying, and then the other gentleman that spoke, the beautiful hat on. I mean, everything makes sense. Everything just unites. Everything feels conclusive. I feel more whole. I mean, I feel it's amazing. I can't thank you enough. I'm so grateful.
I'm so
And
glad.
everyone here, I'm like,
I'm
oh
so
my
glad
God.
that you were able to make it, Helen. Thank you so much for sharing. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone in the comments section. Oh my goodness, you guys are having such incredible experiences and detailed things. It's just incredible. So much love too happening in the comment section. So much love to you guys. Was there anybody else that wanted to share before we left? Please feel free if you wanted to share. Oh, Brian, yes, sorry, I didn't see your hand up. Go ahead.
That was amazing. I feel like I saw a lot and a lot of confirmation. Like I kept seeing things, and then you would say it like a few times that happened. I saw the lion before you said it, the white lion, the phoenix before you said it. I was like, I wrote down in my notes, star. I saw like a star, like a sun, and then a phoenix, and I like had an incarnation as that phoenix, and maybe the star too was like in the heart. of the star. And then I saw the heaven scene before you said that too. You're like, it's like heaven, but it's not. I was like, yes, it is, because I see it too. But it was amazing. The thing that really, I saw a lot, but what really stood out to me, I thought was a little interesting, was in the crown chakra, up in the cloud realm. I ended up going to the top of like a cloud mountain, and I saw several versions of myself, not just one ascended, but there was, maybe it was just, I mean, it's all me, just different forms. Maybe I saw a white lion, a dragon version, a unicorn, and I don't know if it was just symbolic. I saw King Arthur, and then I saw an ant, like not a galactic ant, just a regular ant. It was like in the mix, and then there was a human monk. It was just so random, and then a reptilian version, or an ascended reptilian. Um, and then all their heads, like on their foreheads, they had a third eye that was glowing white light, and it was just a tiny little ant on the ground with his little third eye lit up. It was really funny.
Oh my God, that's so cute. An ant ascended. That's so cool.
I don't know if it was literal or just like a message that all beings are divine and they have the ability to ascend and to like respect all life, because I crush ants all the time and don't think anything about it. So maybe it was like a wake up call for me. But then I got a message too from one of my guides, who I thought was a guide, came forward. So I don't know if maybe it was a version of me, but Andazel, the fairy queen of the fae, you know, she came forward and said acceptance is the key, like to ascension, that it's all beautiful. And that's what I guess holds people back, is not being able to accept things the way they are, seeing the bad, like going to the root chakra, and denying that part of yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I need to work on, and probably most people, but acceptance is key to ascending. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you so much. It was such an amazing event.
Good. That's a beautiful truth. Acceptance is key to ascending. I love that. That's perfect. And I'm sure that you received gifts in every center. So powerful. Thank you so much for sharing, Brian. Does anybody else want to share before we go? Please feel free.
I have a side note question, if I
Yeah.
can, please. At the beginning, when you were talking about star seeds and all that, something just popped in my mind. Is it possible that we were more than one star seed? Like if I was an Illyrian and then an Arcturian and then,
Mhm.
yeah. Is it possible?
You've probably had hundreds, if not thousands, of lifetimes, and they are all around the multiverse, not even just in the Milky Way galaxy. So that's why when you connect all of these parallel versions of yourself, you see all of these crazy beings. You know, if you are a Pleiadian, Andromedan, Arcturian, Mantis, you are all of these things because you have had that many lifetimes. And it's important to us, especially the people that resonate as a rainbow warrior. If you feel in your heart like that's what you are, which I do, then you intentionally incarnate in all of the different star nations so that you get this wholeness to you. So that you know, if you try everything, then you'll be able to understand everyone. You'll be able to have compassion for everyone. You really just, it's a level of oneness and wholeness that you can't get without living it. Because you can learn wisdom and read books, but until you truly experience something, you don't really get it. So the Rainbow Warriors do all of these different star nations, which just means different like kinds, species of galactic beings. They go through all of these lifetimes and then they come here to Earth, and we are these ambassadors or these representatives of so many. We can't just say, oh, I'm Pleiadian, because you're like 100 things. Like you are so much, you're so much more than that. But that's the energy that Earth needs right now. That's why we're here. It's literally a part of our mission to just embody who we truly are, open these connections to these other versions of ourselves, and share the wisdom, share the gifts, you know, prepare Earth for, you know, hopefully, you know, having that disclosure.
Yeah, because I felt that I was more than one star seed, but
Yeah. That's why you resonate with more than one, because you've had multiple experiences. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Amazing. Okay, yeah, Agnes is saying experiences for soul expansion. Exactly. It's so much growth happens in those experiences. Brian saying you should get a galactic reading, Francisco. Yeah, like an Akashic reading. Absolutely. With me, I'll be able to, Brian's had a ton. I'll be able to show you some of those lifetimes in great detail. Awesome. Okay, well, anybody else before we go? Oh, Martha. Yes, Martha.
Okay, so yeah, I got a lot. I'll just I'm just trying to remember. It was like I was so deep in it and I
Yeah.
like flipped it off, but I usually don't do that. Yeah, so some of the ones that stuck out for me was I think the heart chakra was like, it was really beautiful. It was like I saw like pink and green, and then all of a sudden I looked down and it was like this kind of like an island oasis. Like there was green like mountains up the side, but then ironically enough, like I'm wearing a butterfly shirt, but like I looked down and there was like this area of water, but the land was shaped like a butterfly, or the water, like the outline of the water was shaped like the butterfly. So that was just really pretty. And then I remember in the throat chakra, like when I first saw the portal, it was like raining, like it was kind of dark and raining. And I know a lot of people saw like lions or tigers, but I had an eagle and it just like screeched really loud. Or whatever frequency. But I just remember like using paint or something, like something not as thick as paint. It was like in between like light and paint. But it was rainbow, and then like I put it over the wings of the eagle and it like took off like through the rain. And it was like, I don't know, it was like the sun was coming up and then the eagle was flying with like rainbow wings, and then it like kind of made the rain disappear. So I don't know, it felt like hope or just strength, like freedom, just different things like that. So that was really a really cool visual.
Beautiful imagery. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the third eye portal was really cool. I saw like an indigo diamond.
Nice.
It was just like, I don't know, I just was kind of mesmerized by that. And then I saw the phoenix as well. Like I saw the claws before you said the claws. And I saw like rainbow fire. It was like it was just burning away anything that I didn't need anymore. That was just holding me back. And trying to think what else. I couldn't get the full vision in my crown chakra, but what I did see was like the heavenly place. But then I saw like the gates, and then it turned into this like long bridge. But it was like a bridge you could walk over, and it was full of like this silvery metallic like liquid.
Wow.
And then I like changed the liquid into like this rainbow liquid. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it was kind of weird. But the being that I saw, it was like, it felt angelic. I couldn't really see a face, but I just saw like a lot of sacred geometry. So I'm not really sure. It was like super symbolic.
Yeah, that sounds like ancient wisdom for sure.
Yeah. So I couldn't really, because it wasn't like, I don't know, it looked like there was robes and it was like a body shape, but it was just like rainbow sacred geometry symbols at like where the head was. Or
Did you feel if it was male or female presence?
no, it just felt like equally balanced. Like
Okay.
I couldn't get male or female. I mean, I don't know if I'm biased just because I'm female, but when I think about it now, it felt neither, like, or both. I don't know.
There is an angel, I think it's Melchizedek, that is the angel of sacred geometry that maybe you could research. I love little mysterious hints for us to research after.
Yeah. What was the name again?
I think it's Melchizedek, like M-E-L-C-H-I-Z, E-D-E-K, Melchizedek. I think it's something. But there is like an archangel of sacred geometry. Maybe that would be easier to Google. And I'm just wondering, because you felt like you were in heaven or like an angelic place, and then that might be a great mentor for you, especially if that's the ascended version of you, and sacred geometry must mean something. Maybe that angel to kind of work with a little bit going forward to unlock that ascended version of you.
Yeah. And it was like something really silly happened with like the
Metatron. I'm getting in the chat here. It's Metatron. I had the M right.
Okay.
Archangel Metatron. That's the sacred geometry one. So yeah, that would be super great to work with.
Yeah. And then like the silly thing that happened, it was like once I turned that silvery liquid into like the rainbow liquid, it like the angel like went through it almost like a kid-like, and was like kind of splashing through it. And they were like, it's been a long time since I've been able to like to play, because I'm like, I don't know, it was like this ascended being. It just wanted to like be kind of kid-like. I don't know.
I love that's
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was about it. Oh, my root being was just like a version of me that like let my shadows like kind of be in the driver's seat, like for my entire life. Like I kind of shut down my gifts. So I was able to like heal them in a way. It was like I put like a rainbow heart in their palm, and it was like in my palm. Yeah, so, and it was like glowing kind of. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Martha. There's so many good visuals in there. Lots of mysterious like elements that you can kind of grow with and work with.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so. Yeah, that was probably, I mean, the most wild like visions I've probably had.
That's awesome.
They were really good though. It feels really nice.
Good.
So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Awesome. Okay, Priscilla, I see your hand up there as well. Did you want to share something?
Sure. I have my little one, so RIP to any headphone users. He can be loud, but no, like it's so interesting because like once we got up to the you know, like the unicorns, elves, mermaids, like, you know, in that area, it was like I ended up seeing that like, you know, elf lifetime that I remember you had like channeled beforehand in one of the group you know, like meetings. And
I channeled that lifetime for you.
Yeah, so that lifetime came through, and it was very interesting because all of, you know, all of the lives did something either for my hands or my third eye. So like I know in that lifetime, I remember you were saying that like I could put my hand on like, you know, a tree and like talk to it and kind of like either like figure out where, you know, like other people are patrolling or send messages or talk to them and things like that. And yeah, every subsequent, you know, thing was either, you know, giving me energy or just like showing love to my third eye, or it was them literally like taking my hands and like putting sorry, he wants to talk too. It was either them showing like love to my third eye, or it was them taking my hands and like rubbing my palms, or like I know the crown with when I kind of came into contact with, you know, with my ascended master self, and it was either tall white or Andromedan. I'm not sure which. I'm thinking tall white, but you know, she had a very feminine energy, and she almost like she like led me over to like a little bench and like took my hand and almost did like weird pressure points on it that just I think it was more like pressure points in the energy sense, and it feels like it just freed up, you know, any of that like, you know, pent up, you know, stores that maybe were blocked. And I mean, I still feel like my palms are just like on fire from, you know.
I feel like that was the gifts you were receiving then, right? Because we were bringing gifts, and then what you were receiving is going to have to do with hands and third eye. So that's really powerful. It sounds like hands are usually healers. And then if you have joy combined with that, then you have the ability to share with people what you're seeing as you're healing them. And that can be visions, past life memories, what you're seeing in their energy fields or aura that needs to go. Like the two work together very well. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was just so interesting. And even when I was down into like the root chakra, which, you know, more seemed like kind of like a more masculine, like sort of like vampiric energy. I mean, and that was like kind of scary, but but even that was, you know, it was super interesting because this person who obviously seems like really, you know, dark and intimidating and everything, you know, like I just kind of go up and I'm just like, hi. It's like,
it's pretty funny to greet them, but that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so
you know,
that experience.
Yeah, it's just like, hi, yeah, I'm here. So, you know, like I have this rope. And, you know,
would you like to hold on to it?
Yeah, it's like, hey, like just come over here. Like you don't have to be in the corner, you know.
Yeah, that's like, amazing. I love it. What a hilarious vision, but also like super beautiful, like so helpful. Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Priscilla. That's amazing. And everyone that's asking in the chat if this will be available again to watch, I'm going to post it to YouTube. So it'll be on my YouTube channel.
I can't wait to do it again at some point.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing about these kinds of things, they don't age. You can do them as many times as you need. And the cool thing is you probably have new experiences when you redo them, new different parallel versions of you that want to connect, or you need, like, you know, if you don't need those certain gifts anymore and you need something else, different people will show up. So that's why it's like, it's timeless. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Thank you for sharing. I see that Wimmy, is that how I say it? Is that how I say your name? Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Richie. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I don't really do Zoom, but you kind of popped up. I was looking up 6-dimensional thought, and I came across your video, and then all of a sudden I found another video, and then after that there was randomly this Zoom cast, so it was brought to me. You were talking about the moon last night, and it all kind of connected together, and I have a lot of realizations that we are way connected beyond what we even understand. And I had a near-death experience back in 2016, so I kind of vibrate with this now. And I'm a mechanic. I use my hands. But the reason that I wanted to talk before we left was that I do some hypnotherapy, and everything in your videos and the stuff that I've been coming across for the years actually comes out prior to me like learning about it. So it's pretty emotional. The truth is, for me, like there's an I am presence that I identified as a 6-dimensional existence of myself.
Yeah.
And after coming to hypnosis, I looked it up, and like, not to be vulgar, but holy shit, like I'm not the only one that thinks this, you know? So I just wanted to say thank you for an opportunity. I have no idea why at 3 o'clock I happen to be available. I happen to find your link. I happen to be brought to this. And when I had my near
orchestration, you would find this just at the right time. Just the right
time, yeah. And what I wanted to tell anybody who's watching this, I was crushed by a car. It fell 7 feet off of a rack, and I was pronounced dead like 7 times. Sorry, 4 times. But my dad was there, my uncle was there, there was a bear spirit there, and my grandfather, and my higher self. So it's a 45-minute story that I'm not going to get into, but I just wanted to say that you were able today to help me get up into that heaven space, and all 5 of them were there again, just to reassure me that they're all still there. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you so much for sharing. That really means so much to me, and I'm sure everyone here. And yeah, I'm seeing in the chat, we are not alone. No, we are not. Those people are your spirit team. They're your guides. They're versions of you, plus all of these other beautiful members of your soul group. right? Like your family, your friends, your spirit guides, they love you so much and they've got your back, and they are the ones guiding you and directing you with these soul nudges to find things like this event. So I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you made it. Thank you so much for sharing. This is
Hey,
beautiful.
thank you. Thank you for the
I
journey. It's
also
fun.
have a membership in case anyone wants it. We do events like this every week. The Starseed Academy membership is incredible. It's exactly like this. We get on Zoom, we have an event, could be anything, healing, activation, astral journey, a group reading, something. And then we have a share portion like this where we all share. So it's really just organic. You get to know people. So many people I've seen go from like, everyone's like shouting at the membership. So many people go from like not being able to see anything to like, I can take, you know, I can help. That's what I do. I grow people's spiritual gifts and their psychic gifts. So yeah, shout out to that. If anybody wants to continue working with me on a weekly basis, showing up in events like this, it's exactly what we do at the membership. So awesome. Well, thank you guys all so much. Thank you again all for the comments and that. I know it's getting late, so we'll probably get going. Sorry, Helen, I just saw your hand after I said that. Did you want to say one last thing?
Oh, no, I'm going to be very quick, and thank
Okay.
you so much. I know I don't want to keep anyone here. I just felt really strongly guided to ask you about the galactic being. How could I find out what it is? I know what it looks like,
Mhm.
but I would like to be able to know what it is. Any idea?
So if you're trying to find a galactic being, that's a version of you, I would think that I would actually just trust in my own wisdom and meditate on it first before I go to outside sources. So
Yeah.
start with, what do I know? Meditate, what visions come up, what words come up, what
Okay.
feelings come up, and then go ahead and research online, because there are so many channelers out there that have documented so many different kinds of civilizations and beings. And you'll probably, especially if you pray first for help, like to that being, I'm trying to find you here, like bring through the information or the details that I need. Okay, now I'm ready to research, and then things will start to align. And it's a beautiful like puzzle that fits together. And I can also help you as well.
Okay.
We can work together because I know you're in the membership. Are
course.
you in the membership? You were at a point, but
I will be back.
you will be back. Okay. We can definitely work together.
Cannot wait to be back.
Good.
Back.
Because I can like try to tune in for you and figure out what it is too, just through channeling, and we can work together on that. So
You've helped me so much discover so many parts of me.
good. I'm so
I
glad.
trust in you, and you helping me find that. But I will until we get to do that, I will definitely follow that guidance that you gave me.
Yes.
And
Turn within first before you do any research, so that you're not swayed.
Yeah.
And then it feels like divine confirmation, because you're like, oh, I saw that and now I'm seeing it
Yes.
online, or I heard that. Always go within first, because then you know when you see it, oh, that aligns. It's perfect. Awesome.
Oh, you're
Okay,
amazing.
thank you all so much. I'm going to post this on YouTube for whoever's still here, and for everybody to enjoy the replay. So honestly, it was such an honor. I feel so honored for everybody that showed up today. So all these beautiful rainbow warriors, thank goodness you're all here on Earth with me and I don't have to do this alone. It's so amazing. Okay, everybody have a great night. I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.